Once there was a king who had a beautiful kingdom, and you'd have thought he had everything and would have been happy all the time. But he was miserable because he had warts all over his face. When he was a boy, the kids at school made fun of him, so he spent all of his time alone in his room. As he got older, he issued a decree that if anyone made fun of his warts, they'd be killed. That helped, but still he knew that people were laughing at him behind his back. So whenever he did leave his room, he wore a cloth bag over his head. But that was no fun either. So when he heard about a wise man living on top of a nearby mountain, he thought he'd go up there and see what the wise man could do for him. He climbed up the mountain and found the old man sitting under a tree. He took the bag off his head and said, "I've come for your help." The wise man looked at the king thoughtfully for several long moments and finally said, "You have warts on your face." Not what the king had come to hear. He was furious. "No, I don't," he screamed, and he put the bag back over his head. "Well, yes, you do," the wise man said. "I'll have you killed," shouted the king. "Then call your guards." "My guards aren't here." "Then what are you going to do?" The king was furious and frustrated, and he started running down the mountain away from the wise man, which is pretty hard to do with a bag on your head. So he fell repeatedly as he ran, and the wise man followed along behind him. Finally, the king fell down a steep slope and into a lake where he began to drown. The wise man jumped in, pulled the king out, and the king took the bag off his head. He looked at the wise man and said, "You're laughing at me." "No, I'm not laughing." "The boys in the village laughed at me," said the king, "and my father was ashamed of me." "I'm not the boys in the village," the wise man said, "and I'm not your father." For the first time in his life, the king felt like someone was looking at him and not laughing or feeling disgusted. Looking at his reflection in the still surface of the lake, he said, "I really do have a lot of warts, you know." "I know," said the wise man, "but I think when I'm with you, I won't wear the bag on my head." "Well, good idea," said the wise man. "In fact, when you go home, you might even leave the bag here." "Yeah, but if I do that, will I find other people like you who won't think I'm disgusting?" "Sure. And when you do, you won't care when occasionally some other people do laugh." The king left the bag there and went back to his kingdom. And he did find lots of people who didn't mind his warts at all. And with the acceptance of those people, it didn't bother him anymore when occasionally some people did laugh. And for the first time in his life, he was very happy.